Hey guys, welcome to J. Hauser Writes. Today we are talking about my debut book that I am not yet showing you the cover of. Though this is a hardback proof copy. I'm gonna put it down before I lean it too much. I will do a final cover reveal when I announce the pre-order date being open. So the fact that I'm putting up this video means that that time is drawing close. So let's get to business. Is my book for you? And I wanted to put this out there because there is no such thing as a universally appealing book. Some people just don't like certain things in their entertainment. So I thought I'd put this out there. Now, if it is not a book for you, I don't expect you to buy it. If you still want to support me, there will be ways that you can. And I will talk about that as well. So my book, Cedar Shadow Wars. Let's talk about genre and what expectations you can have for my book. One thing that I have heard as advice for writers, which really resonates with me, is to write what you want to read. And I do struggle with some things that I find rampant out there in my genre that I can't stand. So I took it a little bit differently. So I figure there are other people that are like me, and that's been confirmed because I have had multiple beta readers help me through this process, editors, that sort of thing. So hopefully it will resonate with other people out there. And you know what, even if you're not sure if it's your cup of tea, it might be, you know what, give it a try. But if you absolutely know it's not, I don't expect you to buy it. So let's go into what it is. So I would classify this as a young adult contemporary romantic fantasy. So that means young adult. That means the protagonists are not yet adult. This book is the first in a series, and in this one we just have one point of view main character, and she is a junior in high school. Young adult also encompasses certain themes that you expect to see. Things like preparing for adulthood, figuring out who you are, free will and agency, and becoming your own person. Things like first love. So it comes along with those themes. Those are definitely heavily in here. So young adult, next was contemporary. So that was kind of a hard classification. There are a lot of fantasy subgenres. In this book, it is very much, I would say urban, but it's actually suburban fantasy. It is mostly taking place in a regular suburban area. Now, that doesn't mean that the whole series will be though. That's kind of where I got caught up, because there is a portal realm, an alternate realm. Further in the series, you get to see more of that, but both worlds are still in play. So I decided to call it contemporary. It's not like this is back in the medieval times. This is very much, my characters are texting, they're using modern references, and that's the setting that you have for that. So young adult, contemporary romantic fantasy. If you hate romance in your fantasy, which some people, some science fiction and fantasy readers are just, they hate it, then it might not be for you. It is not all about the romance, but it is very much part of it. And it, you know, it plays into identity and decisions and choices. They're imperfect, but I try not to make like super unhealthy relationships. When it comes down to it, I do also have to say, you know, let the character be who they are, and you're not their therapist, and everyone has a different cup of tea. So that's what I'll say about the romance, and I hope you like it. And then of course, it's fantasies. I've given a little bit of description about it before, but kind of the primer is that there is, like I said, this realm residing on Earth, and you can only get to or from if you are a member of a race that is from there, that's born there. And there are two races. There are the Cedars, so in the Cedar Shadow Wars, and then there are the Ivies, and they are enemies. They have been at war for at least a couple hundred years. They're at a point now where Cedars are forced to send away their daughters into the human world to allow them to even survive, because their powers don't come in until they're teenagers, whereas the boys come in pretty much immediately, and it allows them a certain level of protection, and you know, it goes into that. But because they're in the human world, they're also kind of defenseless, and the Ivies know that they're hiding their girls, and that if they can get enough girls out of the picture, that they will be able to take over Cedar territory. So they send assassins. So in a regular high school setting, you have these girls who don't know their identities yet, and they have brothers and fathers that come over and are protecting them until their powers come in. So it is very much a journey of like discovering magic, and you get to see learning what they can do. And also, I mean, we've got assassins. You know, something has to go wrong. So that is kind of a journey. This is a one person's journey. I will say, if you are afraid of investing in a series, this is the first book in a main trilogy, and it has become a bigger series because I can't help but enjoy more stories with some of the people we love and some of the setting and that kind of thing. So I don't know where exactly it will stop. I have 5 written, 7 planned, but this is, you know, one book. The other 2 in the main trilogy will be coming out in rapid succession, but this one can be read as a standalone. It intentionally has a good resolution. This is one person's journey of self-discovery. Second book is still leaves some questions in the first one, like, I wonder about that. But you do get like your ending. You get a resolution. So it's not a cliffhanger, because those can be gross. But this does lead you, and I have had fantastic feedback on the second book that people actually really love that even more, because you get more insight into the enemy intrigue. So it grows as a series, but the first book alone, it is satisfactory in the way that you get resolution and a journey of its own. Some important things for me that I wanted to focus on. Like, just because a girl wears makeup doesn't mean they're a slut. I find that in so many young adult books that I've been reading lately. And, you know, stereotypes like that, making fun of fat people, all this stuff, gosh, it just makes me cringe, as I've been reading a lot of books in my genre to make sure that I'm kind of understanding the expectations. But I'm like, I don't want people to expect that. So I try not to do that. Again, does it mean characters are perfect? No, they sometimes judge, and that's part of maybe their arc, or just who they are. Not perfect, as are you and I not perfect. That wasn't a very well worded sentence. I didn't just want some overpowered, chosen one, not like the other girls thing. It is a female protagonist, and I'll say she has 11 sisters, so she is not that special in the way that everyone, generally speaking, has powers out of the Cedars and the Ivies, and they're pretty much, they all have the same kind of powers. Like, the genders amongst the races and the races themselves have different powers, but, you know, a female Cedar, they're all going to be pretty much the same. It's not like, oh my gosh, she was born with 12 abilities and people only get 3 normally. It's not quite like that. Anyway, I'm rambling, but some important things to note. If you like fantasy that is on the lighter side but still meaningful, that's what I am going for, meaning that I feel like so much of fantasy is dark. There's so much grit and swearing and gratuitous just death, and I get left in a funk when I read that kind of stuff, like the Mistborn series. I struggle with that. And so I wanted something that wasn't quite that bad. Yes, I have assassins, and I have, you know, some serious things, but I do try to take it from a different perspective. And hopefully that resonates with people. Hopefully I've hit the mark. Again, there's no such thing as a perfect book for everyone, so it'll hit the mark for some people, not for others. Trying my best. I feel like the young adult genre, or I guess classification, is getting very adult nowadays. And I won't go into argument about where the line should be, because the line is different for everyone. For me, I do not include any on-page sex for young adults or adults. That doesn't mean that sexual themes aren't included. I mean, it is romance. And that's just something that you might want to know, is if you don't want to read on-page sex or rape or something like that, it's not there. That doesn't mean that it isn't a little bit steamier than just like a sweet peck on the lips. There's definitely more than that. As for things like swearing, I do include swearing. That was one thing, and I think I put out this video in a lot of ways because so many people that are supporting me are people I've known from church or other faith communities that I know that they are believers in that way. And I get nervous because I don't really swear a heck of a lot in my own real life. But then again, I don't have assassins coming after me, and it wouldn't feel real to me to have someone having someone attack them, say, oh darn, oh gosh, right? But I do have my limits. Again, no F-bomb, I don't take the Lord's name in vain, and I try to make it intentional. I don't have any flippant characters that just willy-nilly throw out swearing. That's just not my taste. So if any swearing at all and any making out at all make you uncomfortable, then my book's not for you. If you're cool with that, there you go. If you don't like the more hardcore stuff, then it's maybe also for you as well. So anyway, I feel like this is getting really rambly. I'm so sorry. So I think I've touched base on the most important things. If you have any questions, please do leave them down below. I, again, don't just want to make money by selling this to the world. Yes, I want to make money, which I probably never will because I've spent so much on like copy editing and cover design. And anyway, I wanted to get it to the right people that will enjoy it, because that's why you buy entertainment, is to enjoy it. So if it's not your cup of tea, there are other ways that you can still help, and I'll probably go into more detail in other videos, so do subscribe. I would say you can help me spread the word. Once I announce the order date, you can share this video, Facebook, other places. You can share it privately with people that you think might be interested in this sort of thing. I would super appreciate that, because I don't have, thousands of dollars to do ad marketing. That just, yeah, no. I'm an indie author at this point. So sharing it, also when the time comes that ordering is available, you can request it from your public library. It costs you nothing. It's actually a really quick form to fill out, because I've done that for another author that I wouldn't mind reading their book, but I'm on kind of a tight budget. So you can request it. If they do actually buy the book, I make a little bit of money. And then even if you don't read it, it's there for others to read. And if they happen to stumble across it and enjoy it, then it might move on where they buy the rest of the series. So just those two little things, sharing it with others that might enjoy it, and ordering a copy from the library, even if it's not your cup of tea, I would appreciate the help. And I'm not afraid to ask for it. Please help me. Anyway, this has gone on for far too long. Again, I'll show you. Ooh. I really appreciate all the support I've had so far, and I'm getting super excited to share this with the world after much work has been put into it. So thank you for joining me here. Subscribe to this channel. I don't know if it will be live by the time this video goes up, but I actually am going to be doing a freebie giveaway for those who subscribe to my newsletter. So that's in the description down below. On my website, you can subscribe for my newsletter, and that just means I'll email you. I'm not going to spam you because I don't have time for that, and you don't want that anyway. When you subscribe, I will be sending out a free short story that is in this universe. So it gives you a little bit of taste of the fun that you're going to be seeing. And again, if you're not sure if this is for you, go check it out. You'll get that bonus story. Thank you again. I'm going to stop blabbering. Have a wonderful day.